Steve Monasteri, the state chairman in Texas, and before we even get into the interview, you were mentioning that your father's family was from Sicily, just like my grandparents were from.
Yes, and my mother's family is from a town called Formicla, which is about 50 miles north of Naples. So I'm roughly 50% Italian and 45%, I think it's 44% Sicilian and 6% German.
My people were from Castagni in Sicily and one grandparent from the tip of the boot. But enough about the reminiscing. You chair a state that is so popular that people are just moving from my state and running down there. What is it that Texas is doing right that Massachusetts needs to copy other than not raising our gas taxes we just did?
Well, we have the #1 economy in the United States if you measure it by job creation. Over the last 10 years, we've created over 1 million net jobs. In the last 12 months, 303,000. Our economic growth last year was 4.4%. That's twice the national average. We really weren't hit by the recession to any great degree. We didn't have a housing bust this time. And all that's caused by having an environment where employers are not the enemy. People understand that to have employees, you have to have employers and jobs. So we're a low tax, third lowest tax per capita in the United States, low spending, third lowest spending per capita. We didn't raise taxes a session ago when we had a budget deficit. And if you look over the last 10 years, we've actually decreased spending by 11.9% when adjusted for inflation, population, and tax rebates.
Now, you have one of the most diverse states in the country as well. Of course, a very large state, all sorts of things from agriculture to oil to... People don't understand how much there is in Texas. How do you, as state chairman, you might have to balance all of these things to sell the message to everybody who's there and everyone who's coming?
Well, we have a very diverse population. We're only one of 4 states in the United States that's a majority, traditional minority. We're roughly 38% of Hispanic background, roughly 12% African American, 5.5% Asian American. So we have a very diverse population, and we also have a large number of people moving into the state, over anywhere from 1,000 to 1,400 a day. But the common denominator is if you have success economically and you provide jobs and opportunity, then that sells to everybody in every corner of the state, and that's what we've done.
One of the things that I've seen here as a conservative in Massachusetts is a lot of people from Massachusetts have fled the state because of the economic situation, moved to New Hampshire, but then voted like Democrats, which is starting to change the state into the state they fled to. How are you making that case to the new arrivals to remind them, you know, if you vote Democrat, you can recreate the conditions that drove you here in the first place?
Well, first we maintain and obtain very extensive lists of the movers, so we know exactly everybody that's moving in. We know their voter history, we know where they've registered, we know things are called data points indicating whether they're conservative or liberal. And the good news I have for you is this: in the first 6 months of this year, we had almost 100,000 registered Republicans from other states moved in. So that's about 400,000 that we expect in the state of Texas that are Republican by next fall.
And in closing, the second day of the RNC event here, anything that stood out to you, anything that jumped out at you as something you were really impressed with?
The digital platform presentation. I think we're going to catch up and exceed what the Democrats can do in terms of data analytics.
I've heard that from a lot of people here. Steve Monasteri, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.